Hello and welcome to Hockey Game, and it's just finished West Ham United 2, Crystal Palace 2. We're ready to discuss the action from the 90 minutes at Upton Park, but before that, make sure you stick to the end because we are announcing the winner of the Payet word art print, which we're giving away on Twitter. And also, we've got this signed shirt to give away, which will be reminding you just how you can enter and when the winner will be announced. Um, Chances are she's not watching, just in case she is. The 100-year-old Mabel was at the West Ham game. It's been a season ticket for 18 years, fantastic. So happy birthday, Mabel. Charlie, 1-0 Palace, Delaney. What was our keeper doing for that one?
Uh, I don't know. It's the easiest way to put it. I'm not 100% sure. He just sort of flapped, I guess is the nicest way I could put it. Um, I don't know what it was. I know Adrian's known for a rush of blood occasionally, but I have no idea what he did that for. One of the biggest howlers, probably the biggest howler I've actually ever seen him do.
Tom, do you agree with that? Or we've been harsh on our keeper there, and should we give credit to Sacco's free kick? The fact that it is really just one of those free kicks that if everyone evades, it goes in.
It was a dangerous free kick. I won't take that away from him. It was curling to the back post, but I can see Adrian was in half mind whether to catch it or whether to leave it to go. And in being in a half mind, he's ended up messing up. It is a howler, but at the same time, it was a very good free kick.
Yeah, I'm on the fence for that one there. I think he should be doing better, but at the same time, you've got to go back to the free kick, and the free kick really was inch perfect from Sacco. I think it could be going in, and he sees it really late, and he's got people rushing at him as well. As a keeper, I can't imagine how stressful that is. But 2 minutes 55 seconds or something later, bang, 1-1. He's back again, Lanzini. Tom, how good was our crossing today?
Yeah, it was good. Payet was on the money quite a lot. Couple of balls from Cresswell as well. No, it was really good for crossing today. Some layoffs from Sacco and people. No, it was better than Chelsea, I think, because obviously we spoke last week about how poor it was at times against Chelsea, but a lot of improvement today, yeah, definitely.
Tom, do you think the game was really scrappy up until Palace scored and that kind of kicked it into life a little bit? Then we've seen a bit more quality from both sides.
Yeah, it was very, very scrappy. There was a lot of heading up in the air. The ball was played, back and forth from heads. The goal went in, and it was scrappy again in the second half. There was a time today where it was a very, 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 very scrappy game.
Charlie, do you think it was important we scored pretty quick? Because I think, obviously, with hindsight, it was pretty evident that Palace were looking, I think, to go 1-0 and then just sit back. Because even when it was 1-1, they were very happy just to sit back and say, what have you got, West Ham?
Yeah, we saw that they weren't too fussed about attacking too much today. I think it was important to get it back just into, not just to stop them from sitting back too much, but also to continue the momentum. We had some momentum going into that, and for them to take it, for them to take that out of us, we needed to get it back straight away. And we reacted brilliantly. To be fair, I think we did fantastically well to score so quickly after that.
I think it shows really good characteristics from this West Ham side that you could say it was a bit of a blow to go 1-0 down, and Palace maybe didn't deserve it, but I don't think we deserved to go 1-up either. As we were just saying, it was scrappy. So fair play to that. Suarez cross then. Jason Puncheon missed a sitter, I think. Ogbonna maybe have went for it, but Puncheon really should be anticipating that. Well, let's talk about him. Not long ago, I'm going to say fair play to Payet for this one, because not long ago I sat here saying, why do keepers not move across their goal line when Payet's got a free kick? And we've seen him do it again midweek for France. So what does Pardew do? Before the game, Pardew says, we cannot give away free kicks. We cannot give away free kicks. They did. In the first one, Payet spooned it well over the bars. Pardew must have been wiping his brow, thinking, right, we'll go for that one. Then he gives away another one. So they set up a 7-man wall. Then you include our own 2 men. So effectively, there's 9 men in the wall. So he goes for that other corner, bang. Tom, just how good was that goal?
I don't. I mean, I just can't. I know we were drawn today, and it is very frustrating. But you cannot take away from how good that goal was. I mean, it took me a second when it went in. I looked at my screen, and I didn't think it had gone in, because I thought it had gone so wide, because I thought he's gone for that post, and the swerve and the dip that he has got on that ball, I went mad. I mean, that, don't take away the fact that his free kicks before were good, But to fit the ball under there, under the top right-hand corner of that bar, inch perfect, over a 7 or a 9-man wall, he is, without a doubt, one of the best free kick takers in the world.
Charlie, would you go one better and say he is the best free kick taker in the world after that?
I'm struggling to think of one better, to be honest. I mean, I sent you a message straight after it went in. It was a thing of, it was incredible. I don't know how he does it. He's just inch perfect almost every single time. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
We've been quite critical of keepers for Payet's free kick. Tom, do you think we've got to take it back and say, actually, there's nothing Hennessy could have done there?
Well, we were very critical of De Gea, weren't we, for Man United? And I saw the one that he hit for France at the week. I mean, again, incredible. But these keepers, I think we're starting to say, yeah, fair enough. Payet is putting them in a place where the keepers aren't able to get to them. He's bamboozling them. I mean, the first one he hit was obviously a rangefinder today, and everyone was expecting it to go top left. But honestly, to get that, but take nothing away from the keepers previous weeks. I mean, yeah, I can't describe it. It's brilliant.
Charlie, does this for the rest of the season? Does this now mean that next week we play Arsenal if we get a free kick? Does this mean Petr Cech's now going to be even more wondering what Payet's going to do? Because before he's always kind of gone over the wall and into the corner. Now he's done this. Do you think now keepers are like, what? He can literally just put it anywhere?
There was a sense when he stepped up to the first one that everyone expected it to go in. There was this hype around it, and I think that's now he's shown that he can just put it literally wherever he wants it, whenever he wants it. I think you just, as a defending team now, you just cannot give free kicks away really within 30 yards of the goal, because he will get it on target and he will challenge your goalkeeper. And if they are not on point, it's going in.
Then it was half time. It was not really much happening in the second half. Then it was a poor back pass. Tom, did you have a heart in mouth moment there with Kayate's back pass? But what clearance off the line by Aaron Creswell.
Yeah, no, top marks to Cresswell really, because at least he was alert to be back on the line, positioned very well. I don't know what Kayate was doing there. Before that happened, I thought he was one of the man of the matches, Kayate. I thought he was really, really good. But there's been a few times this season where we've just seen some lax moments and we passed it into players. Again, good job for Adrian to react him, but no, Cresswell saved us on that one big time.
Charlie, do you think we got off there? Do you know when the back pass happened and Cresswell cleared off the line, where you think, I was starting to get a bit worried, but I thought that was Palace's chance. They've missed it. That was your chance to equalise Crystal Palace, and you missed it. You know, I was expecting us to kick on and extend our lead there. Were you thinking the same, or were you thinking alarm bells?
I was thinking that that was how they were going to score. Would be a basic error on our part, they counter attack, or a free kick / corner, because they didn't really seem to be fussed in any other way. I'm surprised it didn't end up in the net. Cresswell's done absolutely brilliantly to get himself in position, and then that's not his stronger side as well. That's going down to his left, and to his right, and he's left-footed. So he's done incredibly well to do there. But Palace should have scored, and there was another one slightly later on as well where they should have. They had the chances, and they fluffed them. Yeah.
Also with Cresswell, when you watch the replay from behind the goal, the Trevor Brooken camera, Ogbonna dives to try and head it. So if that was a keeper, he'd be saying, "Oh, he's seen it late." So Cresswell couldn't have got a view of that until it was halfway towards it. It was fantastic defending. Then is the talking point. Now we're sat here cursing and swearing at referees. We even trying to be fair, I think on this show we try and defend referees as much as we can. I do think we say, well, in real time, you can see why the referee's done it. You know, against Chelsea, we could say, you know, the referee, it's real time, it's so close to the box, blah, blah, blah. Can you defend the referee at all for this one, Tom, for Kayate's red card?
Okay, I need to compose myself. No, do you know what? And I need to say it later again on Match of the Day, the angle that Clattenburg was stood at, but I can see why he's given it, but maybe for the angle that he stood at, he thinks it's reckless, maybe 2 feet up or whatever, or stud raised. But as you see him going into the ball, he has gone for the ball. It's a 50-50 ball, but his studs are lowered. Gale has made a meal of it, obviously, as players do nowadays. But I think it's a harsh decision. Yeah, I mean, Charlie may disagree. I have no idea. But for me, again, like I said, I can see why he's given it, but it's a harsh red. Maybe a definite yellow, but a harsh red.
So when you say you can see why he's given it, what do you think Clattenburg's seen in order to give it as a red?
All I can say is, I mean, my stream quality wasn't great, I'll admit that, but all I can say is that from the position that he was stood in, he has seen Kouyaté go through Gale with his studs raised. That's the only thing I can see. He can't see maybe side on the angle that his feet are down, and it's tough for a referee in that decision, in that moment. I understand that it's very quick, and it has to be. You have to be known to make the right decision, but I think he's just got it wrong there. I really do.
Charlie, what's your thoughts on the red card, please?
I agree with Tom. I can't. When it happened first time, I wasn't 100% certain, but I was willing to give him the doubt because I couldn't quite see the angle of Kouyaté's foot. Having seen the replays several times, his foot is pointing downwards. Now, it is difficult when it happens so quickly, and his foot was raised off the ground. Even though his ankles were down, his foot was raised off the ground. So you could make the argument, and especially with how Gale reacts, you could make the argument that maybe his studs were up. But for me, it's wrong. However, I wouldn't be half as annoyed by, there was doubt there. You couldn't quite tell until you saw the replays. There was reasonable doubt. I wouldn't be as annoyed if he wasn't as poor for the rest of the game, in my opinion, as well. I think that has compounded the fact that he seemed almost hesitant to give any cards to Palace, and yet he gave us. I don't know. It's difficult to say. It wasn't a red, in my opinion, though.
He was very decisive. I'll give Clattenburg that. As soon as it happened,
Yeah.
he went straight over, took the head out straight away. There was no whispering in his ear like at the Chelsea penalty where he blew his whistle and he strode over with the players in his ear. Then he decided to point this way. He made his own decision. I will say well done to you for that because you just not taken. It's not influenced by any Palace player standing in your face. However, I get the point that his foot's raised, yes, but Kouyaté is sliding forward. Is it possible to slide forward in a tackle and not raise your foot? If you go in with your foot on the ground, you're asking for your own ankle to get broken. If he's sliding sideways, you can wrap your foot around that. So, but Kouyaté is sliding dead forward. He has to raise his foot. It's not possible for him to do it any other way. Because if you go in with your foot on the ground, you're just asking to get your ankle or your leg broken into two pieces. Second, I don't think Kouyaté lunges. I think he just kind of slides. He doesn't jump. It's definitely not two-footed because he's sitting on his other foot. I've seen Clattenburg's view, and you can see the foot. It is quite high off the ground. It's above Gale's ankle anyway. I think it is quite high. But I don't think Kouyaté slams his foot into Gale's leg or nothing. There's no intent to hurt the player. It's not malicious. I don't get why Clattenburg's given it. I really don't. But he's been extremely decisive. I'll be shocked if that doesn't get overturned. I'll be shocked if that yellow card, yes, because it's a poor tackle. It is a poor tackle. But I do think also what might have influenced Clattenburg's decision is Kouyaté's poor first touch. Kouyaté gets the ball and it bounces off his heel and goes up in the air and behind him, and then he turns around and runs after it and then goes into Gale. And I think that's why the referee's called it a red, because he's assumed that it's just an act of frustration from Kouyaté. And it probably is, because we've just spoke about the back pass, which he did literally 60 seconds previously. Tom, how unlucky are we with referee decisions, though? This is the fourth review show in a row. A referee has negatively impacted the outcome of West Ham United's result.
Yeah, it's coming a bit boring, really. And you don't want to sit there and say, oh, it's biased or anything like that, because we know it's not. There's not, the FA aren't out to get West Ham. But it just seems rather unlucky that every week we're here talking about another refereeing decision to affect a game. Now, listen, I mean, don't get me wrong, take nothing away from the defending after the red card was poor, and even before there were times where the defending was poor that conceded the goal. But the FA need to just I can't even suggest what they need to do, because it's difficult. It's difficult, and maybe going back to Scott's point last week about a video ref or something in place maybe needs to be looked at. We're having now to discuss stuff like this, but we're just so unlucky yet again.
To argue the video rest, people say it'll take too long. By the time Clattenburg had gone over and said to Gale, would you like treatment? Yes or no? No, I'm getting up. And said, right, you, Kouyaté, go stand to the side because you're at least getting booked. By the time he's done that, fourth officials watched that 2 or 3 times. It would literally add no time to the game, none at all. If anything, it shortens it because he would have produced a yellow, game on. Since he produced the red, there was that minute of commotion afterwards, and Kouyaté had to walk off holding his hands up. If anything, it actually shortens the length of time to a game. So for people that say, "Oh, it'll take too long," rubbish. You just pick and choose when to use it, i.e., key moments like this. 2-2 not long after, fantastic cross by Suarez. I think all the goals came from crosses apart from Payet's one. Fantastic cross. Charlie, what was Ogbonna and Reed doing? Was that just a bit unfortunate, a bit of bad luck? Because Ogbonna tries to clear it, slices it, bounces into Reed, who's trying to jump over it, and then it just falls perfectly for Dwight Gale.
We know more than most teams that when you're down at the bottom and you're struggling with form, you need a bit of luck and some decisions to go your way. And it was unlucky. It was super unlucky. I mean, if Ogbonna's clearance doesn't bounce off Reed, that ball's not in the back of the net. If it somehow gets cleared before the ball's not in the back of the net, it just happened to land exactly into Dwight Gale's path. He finishes it well. It would be very easy to be uncomposed and mess that one up. But when you're at the bottom, these things you have to get the luck sometimes. And Palace took their chance finally.
So it finished 2-2. Tom, do you think Palace deserved a point from that game, or do you think we've been a bit mugged off?
That's a really good question. I'm tempted to say probably yeah after the second half performance. Obviously the referee influenced the game. I mean, we weren't the greatest attacking threat going forward today, not like we've seen in previous weeks. So you know what, I'll give Palace their due. They could have gone down at 2-1, but they didn't. They came back fighting. Obviously, the red card probably helped a little bit and defending, like Charlie said, with the luck. But yes, I think that probably that they deserved the draw at the end of it, maybe even the win. I do think they had some probably more clear-cut chances at times than we had.
Charlie, do you agree with that? Or when I say mugged off, not just by Palace, but by the referee as well, we've been sold a poor deal today out there.
I don't like how they went about it. I think they came for a fight. They gave away a ridiculous amount of fouls without any sort of cards. I think the referee's done us a disservice, but by the same token, they didn't. They sat back. I think they would have been more. I think they are more than happy with the draw. But I think, given the chances they had, which they fluffed, they probably deserved the draw.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Even before the red card, I don't think we were pushing on as much in the second half as I would have liked. The one player that stood out for me today wasn't a Palace shirt, and that was Balassi. I think he caused us problems down the middle. Then he went and had a pop at Antonio and caused him problems. Then he went over on the right at the end of the game, and then he was causing Creswell problems. It was his cross that Sacco missed an absolute sitter at the back post in the second half when Antonio got drawn into the middle. Let's talk about a couple of West Ham players before we ask the all-important question. We talk about the signed shirt giveaway. Winston Reid. Tom, I'll ask you about Winston Reid. I thought he was quite poor today when the ball was on the deck. When the ball was getting crossed in, I think he's fantastic at heading it clear, blocking shots. I think he's brilliant at all that. But when a player goes one-on-one with him, I think he's still rusty or something, because within 10 minutes of the game, Balassi had rolled Winston Reid like an absolute dice out there. Honestly, it was like Balassi was in a casino the way he rolled that. I think he struggled out there today. Tom, do you think that's fair, or am I being critical?
No, I think he struggled. There's a number of players that struggled today. First off, Balassi was quite poor. He was losing it a little bit. The first sort of opening 10-20 minutes. But after that, he was unbelievable, and a number of players suffered at his hands today, whether it be left backs, right backs, centre backs, everybody. But no, Reid at times he does look a little bit clumpy when someone's, like you said, going one-on-one with him. He almost can almost in a way trip over his own feet, or can get caught and they'll move past him. Yeah, I mean he did look quite poor today. I'll give him that. Aerially, we always know he's a very good presence, but like you said, ball on the deck, he struggles, and he did struggle today.
I do worry that we're going to come up against technically better football teams in the next few weeks, starting with Arsenal. Then we've got Leicester, we have Man U. I do think we're going to struggle with Winston Reid there. Charlie, let's talk about the man that came off the bench for West Ham, Enner Valencia. This is harsh, but what's the point? Like, did he do anything positive? Like, twice or three times I've seen him running with the ball and there was options, and he just kept running. He would just run into a Palace defence, or he would lose the ball. There was at one point he ran with the ball, and he kind of like ran and left the ball, and then hit him in the back of the heel kind of thing. I thought, what? No effect. I know we're really harsh on Enner Valencia here, but I do think he took something. I think Sacco was playing fantastic, and
Yeah.
when I seen Valencia coming on for him, I thought, why are we doing this change?
He's got the worst ball control possibly out of any footballer I've seen in my entire life. Now that's a bit of an exaggeration, I admit, but he literally ran past the ball that he was controlling with barely any pressure on him. I mean, maybe he's just so quick that he finds it difficult to catch the ball. I don't know what his problem. He just can't control it. And there were 2 or 3 opportunities at the end where they had attacks directly from him miscontrolling the ball. As I've said to you, I think he's a player who there's something there. And if you could build a team around him in order to only feed him the opportunities in which he is a very good striker of the ball, he's also got a very good jump on him. But he was poor. He was very, very poor today.
Can I just
Well,
quickly
yeah,
add
yeah.
something to it? No, I'm just not taking away from Valencia, but I think Bilic today, and I don't want to be harsh because the man has been amazing all season, but I think he made some poor subs today. As soon as I saw Kouyaté go off, I thought to myself, Enner Valencia, sit your backside back on that seat, get Obiang on, get Song on, someone that can fill in that role, and then he brings Valencia on, who I think he's forgotten how to play football. I mean, where's his touch gone? I've got no idea. And then I understand Noble's on a yellow card, but he took another centre midfield off, and I would have at that point I would have taken Valencia back down, Song or Obiang, even instead push Antonio up to right wing, bring Tompkins on, and then have Song or Obiang come on. Just have some more defensive presence than we did, you know.
Well, I have to agree, and I think when he took off Sacco, I think he took off our main attacking threat. Although Sacco wasn't involved in any of the goals, he was causing Palace trouble at the back. He was winning everything in the air. He was fantastic today, and I have to agree. I think Bilic got that one sub particularly. I think could have changed the game in Palace's favour actually. But like you said, he's having an amazing season. But we're judging this on the 90 minutes Upton Park today, not this season. So before anyone gets overly critical, just so you know, we're talking about the game Upton Park against Crystal Palace, not this season. Before I ask these guys the all-important question, if you fancy winning this signed top given to us by Ian Bishop, worn by Ian Bishop, it's got all the ex-players' signatures from the testimonial on Monday. It's got Rio Ferdinand, Trevor Sinclair, Mr. Di Canio himself, and of course Ian Bishop signed it himself. If you want that, all you have to do is subscribe. If you want to enter twice, pop onto Facebook and Twitter. There is posts on there that you have to share and retweet to enter twice or 3 times if you do all 3. Man of match time, boys. Tom, who's your man of match for West Ham?
I wish I could give it to a Palace player. I would have given it to Balassi. Until he got sent off, Kouyaté, I think, like we said, I think he was... Well, actually, sorry, until the second half started, he was probably man of the match. But I just can't seem to give it to... I mean, I want to, but it was such a poor performance the second half. I feel like I just have to say Balassi deserved it, even though it's for a man of the match for a West Ham player. Yeah, Balassi. I'm going to have to just say Balassi.
Yeah, we get you. Charlie, your man of match, please.
If I was to pick a West Ham player in the first half, I would pick Kouyaté. If I'm to pick a West Ham player overall, Cresswell, I think, had a decent game. I think Bakary Saka was poor, but he gave Saka nothing. When he was up against Balassi, he struggled, but when Balassi is good, Balassi is a very, very good player. And that block off the line was brilliant. But it's difficult to look past Balassi, like everyone else has said. Balassi was very, very good. So I'll give it to Cresswell to give a shout out to ourselves. But yeah.
Yeah, it's Sacco for me. I thought he was fantastic up front today. He was really, really good. Makes a difference for West Ham. But as I said earlier, Balassi was just on a different level for Palace today. On Wednesday night, we'll be recording Talk West Ham, our latest show, where you guys can get involved. We need to hear from you. All you have to do is video call in. You pick the topic. You pick what you want to talk about. You come on, you talk about it. If you want to rant about Clattenburg, we want to hear from you. If you want to come on and say Bullock's got his subs wrong, we want to hear from you. It can be about anything West Ham. Do get in touch. There's plenty of ways. The forum, hammerschat.com. Email us, hammerschat@gmail.com. Facebook.com/hammerschat and Twitter @hammers_chat. Any of those ways, get in touch. We need to hear from you. And it's Wednesday night, we're recording it, so do get in touch. On the same show, we'll be announcing the winner of the signed shirt, so there's not long to get your entries in. Just subscribe, that's the main one. But anyway, that's been us. If you want to read the match report, pop on to clattenburg.info, and you want to talk with your fellow Hammers, it's a Hammers Chat forum. That's been Charlie, that's been Tom, I've been Gio. we've been 3 disappointed Hammers as West Ham dropped 2 points in the race for 4th. However, we'll be back next week as we face Arsenal.